I'm scared. And to the attachment and the spiritual effects of alcohol. Let's see what he has to say. Tony Sayers.
Liking this video, subscribing, and don't forget to click the bell notifications for when I upload new videos so you don't miss out. Okay guys, let's get going.
I'm scared.
So one of the questions I often get is how can we protect ourselves from some of this stuff? How can we protect ourselves from these attachments that come in and want to try and siphon our energy? Well, I always say to people, and they don't want to hear it a lot of the time, but one of the simplest ways to prevent this is to keep your own energy clean. And I've spoken about before how, when we take drugs and psychedelics, and although you can get some great insights, you're also opening yourself up into 4D, which based on my research and the work that I do and in the sessions that I run, there's not a lot of good stuff in 4D. So it's all a bit of a trap in that respect. So living a clean life, trying to keep your diet clean, refrain from doing the stuff that is put out there really to drop our vibrations. And alcohol is really the number one on that list. I mean, I've written about this in my book, Are You Living or Just Existing, which I'll leave the link below, where there's a whole chapter on alcohol and basically what it's doing to us as a society, how it causes problems within families. Many people I work on, there's often some, an alcoholic father or an alcoholic brother. It's so ingrained in our psyche, it's ingrained in society, where again it's been normalized. We have so much stuff out there that's so toxic, so many toxic belief systems that we need to review and go back. So many things that are in so-called tradition, where just because someone said it 100 years ago, it's still, it's still valid today, and it's really not the case. And alcohol, I'm sure if you took alcohol out of society, it would be a better place. And you can see how it's so ingrained in us, where everything evolves around alcohol. I mean, I look back at, Western society and maybe how I used to live my life before I kind of realised that things weren't like they were, and, perhaps I'd been hoodwinked to believe. But you look at alcohol, if there's a death, what do? We get drunk. If we get a new job, we get drunk. If we get married, we get drunk. If it's the weekend, we get drunk. If we're feeling stressed, we get drunk. Everything is around alcohol. And if you look at, in terms of like sporting events, like many of the football teams that are now sponsored with Carling, Carlsberg, whatever the poison might be. And that's the thing, just saying that, where does that saying come from? What's your poison? It's telling you there it's poison, and essentially that's what it is. It destroys the neurons in the brain. It dumbs people down. That's one of the reasons why they give it to us. It's there's that whole saying, isn't it? They give us coffee from Monday to Friday, so we work hard, and then at the weekend they give us alcohol, so we forget that we're slaves. And this is what's going on, and so it does a lot of damage to the brain.
Wow. I couldn't agree more. But I don't drink coffee. I drink cacao because it has theobromide, which is a longer lasting, clean energy. It makes you feel excellent, like you're in a good mood. And I rarely drink. I don't like it. I don't like how it makes my body feel. I don't like how it changes me and would make me probably make decisions that I wouldn't normally make if I had all my faculties. It's just me personally, but I always had an interest in alcohol's negative effects on people, so let's continue.
Does a lot of damage to the liver, which cleanses and regulates the body, and that kind of stuff. And we kind of glorifying it. I mean, I've got friends and people that I know, and maybe I used to be guilty to it myself before, but it's like, oh, how many pints did you have at the weekend? No, I did 15 shots on a Saturday night, and it's almost like we wear poisoning ourselves with a badge of honour, and why? It's fucking killing us, for want of, excuse my French, but why do we glorify destroying our brain cells and doing exactly what the establishment want, which is to poison ourselves, poison our minds, and really just...
Huge. That is a huge point, and that's what I say to people. Why are you falling into the matrix trap of killing yourself? Because everything has been designed to weaken us and to not promote our best selves. This guy's like on it. I love it. Let's continue.
Play into their hands. And of course, when you've got a hangover for 2 or 3 days afterwards, you're not going to be interested in standing up against the system, which I think is another reason they give it to us. We consume so much of it that the last thing you want to do is, start a revolution, so to speak. So there's many reasons for it, and it's really, really toxic. But what I want to speak about in this video is really the spiritual aspects of it, and what it does to us in terms of our consciousness, what it does to us in terms of our energy, okay? And, as I've said in previous videos, whenever we open ourselves up or we alter our consciousness in any way, or we become out of our center, that is when attachments can come in, entities, energies, different distorted consciousnesses, however you want to term it, however you want to coin the phrase. So alcohol is a big one. You get drunk, you turn basically into a person that's not you. Essentially, there might be aspects of you that come out, but so what that's doing is it's knocking you out of your center, and then you're open to spirit possession. That's why they call them spirits. Mm-hmm. It's all hidden in plain sight. Spirits, what it's telling you, spirits, your booze, ghosts.
Yeah. Are you that bored with your life and with your own mind that you feel like you have to alter it to have fun or get the best out of yourself? I feel like my imagination is so vibrant and fruitful and generous that I don't want to dull it. I definitely feel that I like nootropics and substances that enhance my ability to focus, my ability to create, to come up with really fun, even thoughts. Change your mood, change your life, change your situation. Natural thoughts, right? Not booze-inspired delusions of grandeur.
Your choice of booze, it's all in the language, guys. A lot of all this stuff, we can see if it's good or not for us. We just look in the language. We look into the etymology of the wording. So also another one is gin and tonic. Well, a gin is in Arab countries is a demon, basically. So when you're drinking your gin and tonic,
jackal juice.
What are you opening yourself up to? You're opening yourself up to gin. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure this out. You see how people change when they get drunk. I mean, people react in different ways. I guess it depends on what kind of attachment you have. People turn violent or aggressive or overly sexual, or whatever that energy is, it's going to come through you and manifest in that experience. And if you look at the word alcohol, it comes from the Arabic term al-ghul, which is actually a spirit-eating demon. Okay, So again, all in the language. And so we need to understand this. And I find a lot of people in alternative communities, alternative truth, they don't want to hear this one. And I find it interesting. I understand it's hard because we've grown up with alcohol, and but why would you want to? Why would you want to open yourself up to that? Why would you want to drink the poison the government's given you? And yeah, like I say, I find that there's a lot of pushback with this.
Exactly. 100%. It is rebellious not to alter your mind. It is rebellious to be healthy. It is rebellious to have all of your faculties. I like this guy. I'm going to follow him. Subscribed.
People don't really want to acknowledge or hear this. But I think that if we're serious about changing society for the better, we have to look at the things that are most destructive to our society. That's what I believe a forward-thinking, conscious society would do. And if I'm being honest, and I'm looking, if I've got a sheet of paper of the things that are holding us back as a society from advancing, from raising our vibration, because alcohol lowers your vibration without doubt. I mean, look at the hangovers; they're awful. They're awful. And so, if I'm looking at that piece of paper, then the first one to go, really, if we're really serious about change, is alcohol, which is the one that no one really wants to. So, I just wanted to explain.
Yeah, you ever wonder why it's so available? Everywhere, every establishment, every store, like they're closing in Connecticut, which is a disgusting blue state. No offense if you live there, but I'm glad to be gone. They were closing bookstores and opening alcohol warehouses. I mean, that alone should be a huge deterrent for anybody who wants to preserve their vehicle in which their soul is riding in. Why wouldn't you want to preserve your body? I mean, I don't know. I just don't understand it.
In that, I wanted to explain the deeper side effects. I work with many people that, perhaps they've been out at the weekend and they've taken drugs and mixed it with alcohol, and then they're getting all this interference, negative mind loops, and this is what's going on. We have to understand as a population, and I've said this in previous videos, that it's not just us here on Earth, and this is part of the whole alien deception, that there's stuff out there. Maybe there's stuff here in this reality. It's just existing in other dimensions, all in the same space, and so people can become hosted, and they can be taken over. If they allow themselves to become open and to open themselves up. So
thank you.
We need to understand that this reality is a shared reality, and it's shared by energies that are not necessarily benevolent. And so I just wanted to bring that to people's attention. So guys, what do you think about this? What do you think about how has alcohol affected your life? What do you think about alcohol in society? Please leave the comments in the description below. I'll always try and get back to you. Guys, I said in a couple of videos back that please consider subscribing to my newsletter, because YouTube is censoring and demonetizing and shutting people down. So I want to be able to keep in contact with people so you can still get my content if that does happen. Hopefully it won't. So consider subscribing to my weekly newsletters, which I'll leave the link below. And yeah, also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new.
Why would YouTube censor a guy who's trying to make people healthy? Think about that. We live in a very backwards world.
And I hope you found this helpful, and I'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.
I like him. He would be somebody that I would date 100%. I can't with people who are constantly altering their souls and spirits, and then when you're in a situation where there's tons of other people altering themselves as well, right? Just the term altering, right? It makes me super uncomfortable. It's not like I'm against socializing. I'm not. I'm just against being vulnerable to bad energy. Because I've watched alcohol destroy so many lives, so many people. And oddly, I've never even seen my parents drunk, thank God. It's not been an issue in my childhood or anything, but in adulthood, because it's so prevalent in American culture and all cultures, I've watched it continuously destroy people around me. And it's sad. So I hope you learned something today. I'm going to go to the gym. Enjoy your Sunday. I feel good. I drank my cacao. I'm going to go work out. I'm going to go to lunch. I'm going to write. I'm going to pack up belt orders and be around some good energy.